All right, and it appears as though they have the headphones on now, Mr. Interpreter.
Sí.
We're connected, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Vega, he's using the restroom at this time, okay?
Okay. All right, good morning, sir. Please tell me your name.
Derek Bonet Rodriguez. Sí.
Derek Bonet Rodriguez.
All right, Mr. Bonet Rodriguez, you're here in 2020 MM 5905AO. You're arrested for trespass on property after warning. Did you find probable cause? Ms. Kenny Swanson, did you have an offer to resolve the case today?
Yes, Your Honor. Withhold could have time served. No return.
Okay, Mr. Bonet Rodriguez, the state's made an offer of a withhold of adjudication, meaning it would not be a formal conviction. And you would get credit for the time that you've been in the jail, and you cannot return back to where you've been trespassed from, which is the Wawa at 8574 South Orange Blossom Trail. I'll give you a year to pay your court costs off. Did you want to accept that offer?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, did you read the plea form before you came into court?
Sí.
Yes.
Did you understand everything contained on the plea form?
Sí.
Yes.
You understand all the rights that you're giving up by entering the plea?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Sí.
Yes.
I do find a factual basis to accept your plea. I'll withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days, time served, order that you pay your court costs by August 14th, 2021, and you're not to return back to that Wawa. I previously advised you of the address. I'll give you a year to pay the court costs off, so August 14th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment, sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you, sir. Good luck.
All right.
As soon as I can get with you guys, I will. We just have to do the interpreters. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Luis Alberto Reséndiz Vega.
Luis Alberto Reséndiz Vega.
Okay, Mr. Reséndiz Vega, you're here in 2020 CT 4984AO and 2020 CT 4985AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for driving under the influence with damage to property or person of another and operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. And there is probable cause, or well, their warrant was found probable cause previously. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in your case. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license, no contact with any victim or witness, no alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription.
Okay, that's fine.
I am going to stay the bond at 1,000 on count 1. Count 2 will be 100. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Javier
morning.
Figueroa.
Okay. Mr. Figueroa, you're here in 2020 MM 5907AO. You're arrested for trespass on property after warning. Do you find probable cause? Ms. Kenny Swanson, did you have an offer to resolve the case?
We'll do an adjudication. Let's make sure. I'm sorry, a withhold, credit for time served, no return.
All right, Mr. Figueroa, the state's offer is a withhold of adjudication. It's not a formal conviction and credit for the time that you served. You may not return back to where you've been trespassed from, the Lynx bus station at 455 North Garland Avenue. I'll give you a year to pay your court costs off. Did you want to resolve your case today?
Sí.
Yes.
Did you read the plea form before you came into court?
Yes.
Did you understand everything on the plea form?
Yes.
Do you understand all the rights that you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
All right, I do find a factual basis based on the affidavit in the court file to accept your plea. I'll withhold adjudication. Sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days time served. You're not to return back to the Lynx bus station at 455 North Garland Avenue. And I will order that you pay your court costs by August 14th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you, sir. Good luck.
All right.
Good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
¿Ah? Jaime Bonet.
Jaime Bonet.
Mr. Bonet, you're here in 2019 CF 1194AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant for a violation of probation. The judge did set the bond at none. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You'll see Judge Whitehead in a couple days for your arraignment. In the meantime, the public defender, you can reach out to them. They can file any motions to set bond for you. All right, sir? Thank you.
Okay.
And is that the rest of the Spanish? Is that it?
Yes, Your Honor. That's it.
Okay. And then, Mr. Interpreter, I don't know if anybody out there needs a Spanish interpreter. I believe we have a victim who needs a Portuguese interpreter, but if you could ask in Spanish for anyone to raise their hand if they do.
Yes, Ron. Si hay alguien que necesita un intérprete en español, levante la mano.
All right. I see no hands raised. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
You're welcome. Thank you. You too.
All right. And then, Mr. Castrovart, Mr. Duche, do they know that your client,
No, we haven't spoken to anyone.
you
yet.
haven't spoken to anyone?
No, just as soon as you came in, we sent.
Okay, all right.
Well, we're ready to proceed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay.
know who they are, Your Honor.
Okay.
Are you ready for them now, or you?
Yeah, let's do that as long as I have them.
They're
Okay.
DV cases. either.
They're DV cases? Okay, perfect.
And do we want both?
Can I-
So we can, Mr. Castrovart, who's your client?
Daniel Hay, Hay.
And Your Honor, on that case, it's a second misdemeanor, DV case.
It's a misdemeanor?
Yes, Your Honor. And I think their co-defendants, the person before him, Earlene Cardell, they all live together. The victim is one of their sons and stepchild to the other one.
But I believe for Mr. Hay, the alleged victim is the stepbrother. And then for,
Ms. Cardiel My client is the alleged victim. She is the mother of the alleged victim in the other instance.
Correct. And what was that? What was that last name?
Cardile, she's right ahead of him in the
C-A-R-D-E-A-L.
Right before.
misdemeanor DV as well.
And that is the mother.
Step,
Okay.
and the mother of the alleged victim in this case.
So
Okay.
Mr. Hay is the victim of
Do you want both, Your Honor?
Deal.
Danielle.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Well, they're not co-defendants.
No, but if they want contact, Ms. Cardell, if Mr. Hay wants contact with Ms. Cardell, we would need that based on him being the victim of her case.
I think at this time, Judge, we're going to be okay with no contact between the parties. Mr. Hay has a place where he can stay without going back to the same residence. We just asked for permission to go one time with law enforcement to get his stuff. And other than that, he'll make other living arrangements. His father is present. He wasn't able to come upstairs, but he is ready to make other living arrangements for him.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Castrofort, are you filing a notice of appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So you will be representing Mr. Hay.
Yes, Judge.
All right, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Daniel Hay.
All right. And then can we also? We do not need Lane Cardiel pursuant to what Mr.
No.
Castrofort is indicating. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right, sir, you're here in 2020 MM 690 AW. You were arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find that there's probable cause. And Mr. Castrofort, your attorney, is present with me in the courtroom here. And so we are, there is not going to be any testimony today from any victim. So I am going to order that there's to be no contact directly or indirectly with the victim in the case. And I'll have you sign the no contact order, Mr. Hay. Did you understand everything on that form?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so I'm going to order that you maintain separate residences. If you need to return back to the residence to get any personal belongings, you must call law enforcement ahead of time, wait for them, and then you can go over there with law enforcement. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition, and he qualifies for pretrial release. It's phone in, so I'm going to order him into pretrial release. Make sure you comply with the pretrial release as well as the court's order, sir, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Judge. That's
Thank
all
you,
I have.
Mr.
It's a pleasure
Castrofort.
to
Good
see
seeing you. I haven't
Likewise.
seen you in a really long time.
I know. I'm sad about it.
How you doing?
I'm very good.
Good.
I'll definitely catch up.
Well, when we can all see each other again, I guess we'll all see each other again.
Love it. You guys.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
May I go this way and say hi?
I don't know which way you can go.
Wander around to the side.
I don't have control over the doors.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr.
Long time no
Trey.
see.
I know. How are you doing?
I could be better. I could be better.
Keep the mask on.
Yeah.
Please.
I could be better.
All right. And then who is your client?
Zoe Storch should be last.
I think I have a note on here.
It's a misdemeanor DV case.
Yeah. And then do we have Zoe Storch, Mr. Dutre's client?
He's coming up.
Okay.
Thank you.
The victim's present. He's advised me, Mr. Glenn, that he would like no hostile.
Okay, well, I'll take some testimony. I have to wait for Ms. Storch.
You been good?
Good, yeah.
I wish I had your job.
Ready to get back downtown.
Yeah. Me too.
All right, good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name, please?
Zoe Storch.
All right, Ms. Storch, you're here in 2020 MM 5903AO. You're arrested for battery domestic violence. You do find probable cause. And Mr. Dutre, are you filing a notice of appearance, or have you already done that?
Already filed it.
Okay, just making sure. And we do have a witness present. Sir, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And you're very tall, so I'm going to have you crouch
I
down
do.
a little bit and speak loudly, okay?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name for me, please?
Jesse Glenn, Glenn.
All right, and Miss Kennedy Swanson, did you want to inquire of the witness?
Yes, Mr. Glenn, are you afraid of Miss Storch?
No, I'm not in fear of her at the moment.
Would you like contact with her while this case is pending?
Yes.
Were drugs or alcohol related to this incident?
Alcohol.
Alcohol? If something happened in the future, would you feel comfortable in calling the police or 911?
Yes.
No further questions.
All right, and Mr. Dutre, did you want to inquire?
No, I talked to the state about a $500 bond would be advisable in this case if you do that.
We would just ask for no alcohol as well, Your Honor.
Okay. And so, Mr. Glenn, has there been any prior violence in the relationship?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so this is the first time law enforcement's been involved in any kind of physical altercation?
Yes.
Okay. And you're telling me that you're not in fear?
I'm not in fear of her.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to allow Ms. Storch you to have non-hostile, non-violent contact with the alleged victim in the case. So that means no pushing, no hitting, no biting, no scratching, no throwing anything at him, no getting in his face, no saying mean things to him, no being disrespectful. Do you understand all of those things?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're also not to possess or consume any alcohol or any illegal substances without a valid prescription. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. She qualifies for pretrial release. It's phone-in. She wouldn't have to report in person. She wouldn't have to post a bond.
We already have the 500 set up. So.
Okay. I'll place you. I'll stay the bond or set the bond at $500. And did you? Ms. Kennedy Swanson, you just said no alcohol or drugs? Is that,
Yes, Your
okay,
Honor.
all right. So just make sure you comply with the court order, Ms. Storch, and keep in touch with Mr. Dutre, okay?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Judge, can we call Mr. Woodham? That's the victim that's downstairs waiting.
Okay.
It's a felony, it's the last felony DV. Woodham?
Can we have... Woodham, James Woodham. We're calling the victim on the phone. She's downstairs and not been able to be let in.
Mr. Woodham is also a medical, Your Honor.
He's medical, okay. That's right, you did tell me that.
Yes.
All right, and we do have her on the phone. I'm gonna call the case 2020 CF 9787AO, and I'm gonna appoint the public defender for Mr. Woodham. Mr. Matos, did you want to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So he was charged with battery on a person 65 years of age or older, and I do find probable cause. Good morning, ma'am. This is Judge Wish. Can you tell me who you are?
I am Evelyn Woodham, James Strady's mother.
Okay, and did you speak with Miss Kennedy Swanson this morning? She's the prosecutor for the state attorney's office.
Yes, ma'am. She did stop and spoke to me this morning.
Okay, and was that outside of the jail?
Yes, ma'am. But I had the COVID-19, and so wasn't allowed to come in. But I was quarantined until last Friday, and it's over with. But
okay,
I know you have rules, huh?
Well, that's good. I'm glad that you're feeling better.
Thank you.
Can you raise your right hand for me?
My right hand?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And Miss Kennedy Swanson, did you want to inquire of her?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Woodham, are you afraid of James?
No, ma'am. I'm not afraid of James. I've had a triple bypass, and I had distance for the whole week. He has taken care of me. He's really good to me, and this was a crazy accident.
Miss Woodham, would you like for him to be allowed to continue to live with you while this case is pending?
Yes, I would.
If something happened in the future, would you feel comfortable in calling the police or 911?
I would feel comfortable calling both of them, either one.
Okay. And there's no concern you have if James was let out and was allowed to live with you. Is that correct?
Yes, I have no problem with that.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Matos, any questions for Ms. Woodham?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Woodham, is this the only incident of violence that's occurred?
Well, yes, I would say we've argued before because I guess that's only natural because I disagree with a lot of things, but I guess that's natural, Judge. I just want what's best for my son. I love him, and he's really a good person.
Okay, and you're telling me that you're not in fear of him at all if he were to come home?
No,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
I'm not no, ma'am, I'm not in fear of him coming home.
Okay, and were drugs or alcohol involved at all in his behavior, do you think?
No, ma'am. I have 4 sons, and he's the only son that I've got that does not drink. He takes Dilatin, which makes him really grouchy. And my daughter-in-law a couple of weeks ago told me, she said, Mom, I think maybe that his doctor should give him some medication to calm him down because he gets hyper,
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to allow him to have non-hostile, non-violent contact with you. So that means that he cannot touch you inappropriately, get physical with you in any way. He can't get in your face. He can't be disrespectful to you or yell at you. He can't hit you, punch you, kick you, bite you, scratch you, any of that. So if any of that happens, he's in violation of the court order, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And he's not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition.
Oh, we don't have none of that.
Okay, excellent. And would he qualify for pretrial release? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the bond at $1,000 or pretrial release if he is able to qualify. And they'll have to interview him for that. But otherwise, his bond will be $1,000.
Okay, so that means I need to find a bondsman for him, I guess.
Or they would interview him and he may qualify for pretrial release.
Oh, okay. I'll let them do that because I live on a strict budget.
Okay, well, if he can't make the bond or y'all can't make the bond or he doesn't qualify for pretrial release, then his attorneys would have to file a motion for him, okay, to reduce that.
Okay.
But
Yes.
I think that is an appropriate bond based on his history as well as the facts of the case, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and if you have any questions about whether he'll qualify for pretrial release, the pretrial release number is, I believe, 836-407-254-7500.
Okay. I didn't write that down, but I can get it.
254.
Well, okay, just one moment.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
That's
Judge.
fine. You're fine. Take your time.
Okay, I'm ready.
254-7500.
Oh, 7,500. Okay.
Okay, and so you can call
Okay.
them with any questions, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You
And-
have a good day. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you. Thank you so
you.
much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, and I think whoever you would like to bring in now is fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No, that's fine. It's going to be a day. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you tell me your name, please?
Deontay Haynes.
Mr. Haynes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Haynes, you're here in 2020 CF 9741AO. You were arrested for manslaughter with a firearm, and I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. I believe that Judge Carter had reset this and indicated she wanted to take some testimony as to, before coming up with a bond. I think that is appropriate. He does not have any criminal history, and after I've reviewed the facts of the case, I don't believe that he is a danger. So I don't know, Mr. Matos, if you wanted to take some testimony from Mr. Haynes. So, Mr. Haynes, will you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I'd like to get some information from Mr. Haynes about his financial status, as well as anybody who may be able to help him post a bond, so I can determine what an appropriate bond might be.
Okay, Your Honor. Mr. Haynes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Mr. Haynes, do you live here in Orlando?
Yes, I do.
Where do you live? Can you give me your address?
910 26th Street.
And do you work here in Orlando?
No, I do not.
Have you had a job previously, or you were laid off?
I had a job a couple months ago, yes.
Do you have any savings?
No, I do not.
Do you have any land or cars?
No, I do not.
Who would be helping you with this bond?
Honestly, I don't know. I could say my grandmother, though.
What does your grandma do for work?
Excuse me?
What does she do for work?
Oh, nothing.
Can you repeat that?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Correct.
So how does she support herself? Social Security?
I don't know. Like, that's her. That's I gotta ask her that, to be honest. I don't really know.
Mr. Haynes, what kind of bond can you afford?
I don't even know, to be honest.
Do you have any other family outside of the state, Mr. Haynes?
Yes, in New York.
Do you visit them often, or are you just usually here in Orlando?
Here in Orlando, besides vacation.
When was the last time you traveled?
Like 2-3 years ago.
Your Honor, Mr. Haynes lives in Orlando. The only person that can help him out is his grandmother. He doesn't have any savings, any cars. His grandmother doesn't work. We would ask to set a reasonable bond in the amount of $50,000.
Ms. Kennedy Swanson, did you have any questions for Mr. Haynes?
I have no questions, just argument, Your Honor.
Okay.
State has no objection to a reasonable bond. We'll leave that in the court's discretion. We would still just ask that no contact with the victim's family. I understand that was his friend. However, during these times, we'd ask for no contact, even while he's in custody, even though they may reach out to him or his family just to instruct him not to have contact. No weapons and no firearms if he is able to get out of custody.
Okay. And Mr. Haynes, are you in school?
Yes.
Where do you go to school?
Prosperity Leadership Academy.
What are you studying?
I'm studying everything. I'm trying to get some credits. I was supposed to do virtual reality school on Tuesday or on Wednesday, which was my birthday.
All right. Have you spoken with your grandmother?
The day of the incident, yes.
All right. So first off, Mr. Haynes, I am going to order that you're not to have any contact with the victim's family. That can be changed later by a judge in writing. I know that you two are very close, okay? So, and the families, I'm sure you're close with the family, but you can't have contact with the victim's family while you're at the jail or outside of the jail. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. And I believe the incident is alleged to have occurred at the victim's residence, so I'm going to order that you're not to return back there. I am going to set the bond in the amount of $15,000. So if you cannot afford that bond after speaking with your grandmother and a bondsman, the attorney from the public defender's office who will be representing you should be able to file a motion for you. They're going to give you a piece of paper with their phone number on it. And so make sure that you call them as soon as possible if you're not able to make that bond, okay?
And Mr. Haynes, do you have your grandmother's access to her phone number?
Do she have access to my phone number?
No, do you have your grandmother's phone number?
Oh, yes.
Can you give it to the public defender so they can reach out to your grandmother
Yes.
and tell her your bond conditions?
321.
321?
Yes. 946.
946
3062.
3062.
And what is your grandmother's name?
Starling.
Can you repeat that?
Starling.
Starline?
Starline?
Starling.
Starling?
Yeah.
Starling.
Starling. Okay. All right, Mr. Haynes. Good luck, sir, okay?
Thank you.
Huh?
You're on the next on the list. Anthony Williams, refused court.
Okay. So Mr. Williams has refused court. I believe this was a reset from yesterday, which was behavior. So I'm going to find his refusal to be a waiver, and I'll appoint the public defender. Well, it looks like they may already be appointed, correct? Okay. So it's 2020 MO 469AO, failure to appear at a pretrial, and the bond is set at $500, and he already has the public defender. And then we do have an individual here, a victim present, who needs the Portuguese interpreter. So is Mr. Brickus next?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, perfect. Good morning. Is this the Portuguese interpreter?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. This is Judge Wish, and I am going to need your services for an initial appearance hearing. And the victim is here to testify, and she is the one that needs your services. However, I'm going to need you to interpret the entire proceeding so she understands what's happening.
Sure, Your Honor. May I speak to the person just to check the language, please?
Sure. Can you just state your name and your ID number, and if you've been sworn in yet?
No, I have not yet. My name is Ozzy, ID 249234.
All right. And then can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to translate from English to Portuguese and Portuguese to English to the best of your ability?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And yes, you may introduce yourself so that I know she understands you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Alô, você fala português?
Sim, falo português.
Ok. Ok, muito obrigado, sou intérprete português. That's fine, Your Honor, I'm ready.
Okay, and can you ask her to raise her right hand to be sworn in?
Senhora, por favor, levante a sua mão direita para jurar.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
A senhora jura falar a verdade, só a verdade, nada mais que a verdade, que Deus o ajude?
Absolutamente.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And so again, I'm going to need you to interpret the proceeding as well, so she understands what I'm saying to the defendant.
Eu vou fazer a tradução para que a senhora entenda o procedimento, ok?
Ok.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name, please? And please wait for the interpreter to stop interpreting before you answer.
Senhor, o senhor fale o seu nome e, por favor, sempre aguarde o intérprete terminar para o senhor responder.
Hi, Your Honor. My name is Eric Brickus.
All right, Mr. Brickus, you're here in case number 2020 CF 9783.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Interpreter, if you could interpret that so that the victim understands.
Yes, before the number 9783, I couldn't hear what you said, Your Honor.
2020 CF, C as in Charlie, F as in Frank.
Ok. Sim, senhor, o número 2020, C de casa, F de faca, 9783.
You were arrested for tampering with a witness to hinder communication to law enforcement and battery domestic violence.
O senhor foi acusado de bater e refutar o que o policial estava para fazer o seu apreensão.
I do find probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
Eu vou ver a possível causa e determinar advogado para defender o seu caso.
And Ms. Kennedy Swanson, did you want to inquire of the victim?
Yes, Your Honor. Are you afraid of Mr. Brickus?
A senhora está com medo do seu breaker, senhora? Alô, senhora?
Eu estou com um pouco de medo, mas eu não acho que ele vai. Eu creio que ele nunca passou por uma situação assim de ser levado pela polícia. Então eu acho que isso já foi suficiente para ele finalmente buscar tratamento, porque o que ele tem é uma doença. Ele não é um homem mau, entendeu? Ele não é, ele é um homem maravilhoso, só que de vez em quando ele fica assim, agressivo e...
Ok.
Ele tem uma doença. Se ele fizer o tratamento, ele vai ficar curado, entendeu? Ele vai.
Yeah. Okay, I am a little afraid, but I think what everything happened with him now, with the, being apprehended by the police, is sufficient for him to seek treatment because it's a disease that he has. He is not a bad person. He just needs treatment. It's a disease that he has.
Ms. Brickus, you said he has a disease. Is that related to drugs or alcohol?
Senhora, essa doença que a senhora se referiu é de bebida, alcoolismo?
Não, eu creio que seja algum transtorno psicológico de humor. Porque ele um dia está marido maravilhoso, melhor marido do mundo, pai excelente, cuidador, responsável, e de repente, do nada ele muda, do nada, parece que é outra pessoa, muda completamente, começa a falar, ofender, a me tratar mal.
Okay. Obrigado. Vamos falar por partes, por favor, senhora. I just asked her to speak in segments, if possible, Your Honor. And give me a pause, that's all. She said the following, Your Honor. No, I think is a disturbance, psychological disturbance. He, at some moments, are wonderful husband, very good husband. He cares. He is responsible. He's a good father, and suddenly he changes and becomes rude and aggressive.
I have no further questions, Your Honor. State would ask for no contact.
No questions.
Oh, okay. So Mr. Matos has no questions and the state has requested no contact.
Então, outra pessoa não tem perguntas, Sr. Marcos, e ele está fazendo não contestar.
Thank you, Ms. Brickus, for your testimony today.
Muito obrigado, Sra. Bricker, por fazer o seu testemunho hoje.
Based on my review of the affidavit as well as your testimony, today I am going to order no contact with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Então, baseado no seu testemunho e também na revisão que eu fiz, eu vou ordenar que ele não tenha contato com a senhora.
And that can be changed by a judge at a later date in writing.
Isso pode ser mudado por um juiz mais tarde por escrito.
Mr. Brickus, do you understand everything on the no contact order?
I understand, ma'am, but I love my wife and my baby more than anything. The reason why we called the police.
I don't want you to talk about the facts of the case, sir, because it's not going to help you today, okay? So only talk to your attorney about the facts of the case, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes.
Okay, and it can be changed in writing by a judge at a later date, okay?
When is the later date?
When you get a hearing in front of a judge. So you'll have to speak with your attorneys about filing a motion to modify the no contact order. If Mr. Interpreter, I know that's a lot of information, but I just want to make sure she understands that as well.
Ok, a senhora tem que entender que então ele está fazendo a determinação, o juiz, a juíza de ele não ter contato com a senhora. Isso pode ser mudado numa data mais para frente por escrito. É isso que ela está explicando.
You're going to have to maintain a separate residence.
Você terá que manter uma residência separada.
If you need to return to the residence to get personal belongings that you need, you must be with law enforcement. You may not go by yourself.
Se você precisar voltar para obter qualquer um dos seus objetos pessoais, o senhor tem que voltar lá com a presença de policial.
You're not to possess any weapons, any firearms, or any ammunition.
Não pode possuir nenhuma arma de fogo, nem munição, nem nenhuma arma.
And it appears as though pretrial release, the DCF was, the Department of Children and Families, was contacted, so you'll need to comply with any DCF investigation.
O senhor tem que cooperar com qualquer das investigações feitas pelo Departamento de Criança e Família, DCF.
Does the state have any objection to pretrial release?
No, Your Honor.
Eu gostaria de falar.
Mr. Brickus.
I would like to say something, she said.
Yes, ma'am.
Sim, senhora.
Eu, apesar de me sentir um pouco insegura de ele ter um outro surto assim, eu gostaria de tentar uma última vez, porque ontem, quando isso aconteceu, eu conversei com 3 pastores que nos acompanham, e esses pastores, eles me convenceram que existe um tratamento espiritual para ele, e que ele tomando medicamento também, ele nunca mais, e que ele tendo passado essa noite aqui preso, detido, isso com certeza vai fazer com que ele não me agrida mais. Eles me deram muita segurança nisso, e eu gostaria de tentar uma última vez, antes de tomar uma atitude mais radical, de afastar ele do nosso filho. O nosso filho gosta tanto dele. Eu também estou com tendinite. Nesse momento eu não tenho ninguém com quem contar aqui. Eu estou sozinha. E Eu não posso cuidar do neném sozinha.
Let him interpret, okay?
Thank you very much, Your Honor. She said the following. Although I feel a little insecure that he might have another episode, but I would like to try one more time to have him living with me. For this last time, what happened, we talked to 3 pastors that follow us and care about us, and they convinced me that there's a spiritual treatment for him, there's medication that he can take, so he might not have anymore. And so I would like to have him at home because I don't want him away from my son. My son loves him, and I want to try one more time for him to stay with us.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, but I am going to order no contact today. As I stated before, that can be changed in writing by a judge.
Sim, mas eu estou fazendo a ordem hoje para ele não ter contato com a senhora. Isso pode ser mudado mais para frente por juiz, por escrito.
His attorney will have to file a motion.
Ok.
O advogado dele tem que fazer o pedido.
Ok.
All right, so I am going to place Mr. Brickus in pretrial release. Mr. Brickus, make sure you comply with pretrial release as well as my orders, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Could I please just say one thing to my wife?
No, I've
Just-
ordered no contact, and you may not say anything.
I just
to her.
love her so much. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, thank you, Mr. Interpreter.
You're welcome. Is there anything else I can assist you with, Your Honor? Thank you very much for using our service.
Thank
Have a
you
good
so
day.
much. You too. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye now.
Good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
William Edward Curtis.
Mr. Curtis, you're here in 2020 CF 9784AO. You were arrested for battery by strangulation, domestic violence, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence, battery, domestic violence, and false imprisonment, domestic violence. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the no contact order, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. You're continued to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. I am going to set your bonds with pretrial release as well. It will be $150 on count 1, $2,500 on count 2, $500 on count 3, and $1,000 on count 4, as well as pretrial release. Make sure you comply with the court order and pretrial release, sir. Good luck. Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Good morning, Romance Faircloth.
Mr. Faircloth, you're here in 2020 CF 9785AO. You were arrested for tampering with a witness to hinder communication to law enforcement, false imprisonment, aggravated assault on a pregnant person, and aggravated battery on a pregnant person. Mr. Matos, I'm going to appoint the public defender. Yes, sir.
I spoke to Ms. Swanson before the course started, and we agreed that 2 ROR on the assault. Just wanted to let you know.
Okay. So you're saying that the state is stipulating with you to release on his own recognizance on
the
count
assault.
3.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So I do find probable cause for those offenses. And I am going to order that you have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim in the case, Mr. Faircloth. I'll have you sign the no contact order form. Did you understand everything in the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're also to maintain a separate residence. If you need to return back, you can go one time with law enforcement to get personal belongings. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. I am going to set the bond on count 1 at $1,000. Count 2 will be $150. Count 3, I will ROR. Count 4 will be $5,000. Make sure you comply with the court order, sir. Thank you. Please tell me your name.
Jaquavius Green.
Mr. Green, you're here in 2020 CF 9786AO. You're arrested for 10 counts of possession of a firearm by or ammunition, of a convicted felon. And then count 11 is battery, domestic violence. I do find probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not going to have any contact with the victim in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order, sir. Do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
You're also to maintain a separate residence. You can return one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or ammunition. If you have any weapons or any firearms, you're to surrender them within 6 hours of release from the jail. If you're also to comply with any DCF investigation that is pending. You do qualify for pretrial release, sir. I am going to place you on pretrial release. Make sure you comply with the court order as well as pretrial release.
Yes, ma'am. I have a question.
I don't want you to talk about the facts, so make sure you don't talk about anything that might incriminate you, okay? So if
Yes,
you have a
ma'am.
question about something else, I can try and answer that for you.
Yes, I just wanted to ask, how does the pretrial release works?
You'll have to phone in, and so they're going to explain everything to you and give you all the paperwork and everything that you need to know when they process you and your release. They'll explain all of that to you, okay?
Okay,
You will not
thank
have to post a bond,
Okay, thank you.
okay? Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Good morning. My name is Nicholas Pastor.
Mr. Pastor, you're here in 2020 CF 9758AO. You're arrested for aggravated battery. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. You also have an on-view violation of probation out of county, out of Seminole County in 2018 CF 1788. And I do find probable cause for that, and I will appoint the public defender here to represent you and help you with the violation of probation while you're here.
Yes, ma'am.
And I am going to order that you have no contact directly or indirectly with any victim or any witness in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order, sir. Do you understand everything on that form?
Yes, ma'am.
You're also to maintain a separate residence. So if you need to go, if the victim is living at the residence, you cannot live there. So you would need to return with law enforcement one time to get any personal belongings.
Yes, ma'am.
No weapons, no firearms, no ammunition, and you're to comply with any DCF investigation that there is pending.
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is set at $5,000 on the aggravated battery and 0 on the violation of probation. So you'll need to call the public defender's office
Yes, ma'am.
so that they can assist you with the Seminole case, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Adam Snyder. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Snyder. You're here in 2020 CF 9753AO, you're arrested for burglary of a structure with an assault or battery therein. Battery on a person 65 years of age or older, there's 2 counts of that, and battery domestic violence. I do find probable cause for those offenses. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. I am ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim or any witnesses in the case. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Mr. Snyder, do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay. Okay. I don't want you to say anything that may incriminate you. You have the right to remain silent, and anything that you say can and likely will be used against you. So if you want to talk about what happened, today's not the day for that, okay?
No.
Okay, talk to your attorney only about the facts of the case. Okay?
Okay, I'm trying to save my job, and I want to know how I can be released
Okay.
until date.
Okay, well, I'm talking about the conditions of any release at this point, and we'll get there, okay?
Okay.
So you're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred, no weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition. I did note that the officer indicated that Mr. Snyder, I think I saw Mr. Snyder, I'm not sure if it was me, but that he was arrested on August 10th for battery domestic violence, where it was, I believe, was the victim. But when it's the out on bond case that they're referencing, it's the same agency number, and I did not see a domestic violence battery arrest. It's the resisting with an assault on a law enforcement officer. So I don't know if there is a domestic violence battery case pending. Okay, it was not submitted. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I understood. So, I didn't see a no contact, I didn't see anything in there with relating. The only thing I did read in there was that there was probable cause for a domestic violence battery in the affidavit for 2020 CF 9632, but I didn't see any charges. Mr. Snyder, Miss Kennedy Swanson, did you want the count 1 is a punishable by life felony? Did you wish to be heard as to bond?
Your Honor, we're just going to reserve everything.
Your Honor, we would ask that the defendant be held at no bond as to count 1, looking at the 4 corners of the affidavit by James McDonald. Officer James McDonald, yes. We'd ask for no contact, no weapons, no firearms, no return, and instruct him no contact even in custody.
Okay, I went through the no contact and all of those conditions. I think I applied all of those conditions. So, Mr. Matos, you said you wanted to reserve, meaning you did not want me to make a finding today?
Yes, Your Honor.
So your position is you want me to continue to hold him at no bond while your office files a motion?
Unless you're thinking of giving him a bond, Your Honor.
Okay, well, you can't, it's one or the other. So you either...
Then you might as well proceed, Your Honor, with the determination.
So you want me to make a finding?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I find that there's proof evident presumption grade. I am going to hold Mr. Snyder at no bond on count 1 at this time. So Mr. Snyder, Mr. Matos is in the courtroom. I'm sure he's going to contact your attorney today, and they can get a motion filed for you for that count. So there will be no bond on count 1. Count 2 will be 1,000. Count 3 will be 1,000, and count 4 will be 500. I'm also revoking the release in 2020 CF 9632AO. You do have the public defender in that case as well, and so you're going to have to, and that is the pretrial release, so that will be revoked, and the bond will be set at none. So I know that's not what you wanted me to do, Mr. Snyder, today, but that's what I've decided to do. So you're going to have to make sure you get in touch with the public defender. And they will file a motion to set bond for you on both those cases, okay?
Okay.
All right, if you have questions, you need to call that number, and they will give you legal advice. I cannot give you any legal advice. Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Aisha Williams, good morning.
All right, good morning. Ms. Williams, you're here in 2020 CF 9613AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant. Probable cause was found for domestic battery by strangulation and false imprisonment. And I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on that form?
Yes, ma'am.
You're to maintain a separate residence. You're also not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. No weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition. Your bond on count 1 is $150. Count 2 will be stayed at $3,000.
Yes, ma'am.
It also looks like she had an open petty theft case, returned to state to perfect service. Summons was returned, so.
Yes, ma'am, but when I got arrested yesterday, he was saying that being that the COVID, he was like that I had to just check up on it in order to go to court for that. So he was like,
Okay, you haven't been served with the summons yet unless you've been served in jail. I was advising the state that you were present, obviously, and needed to be served with a summons so that they can do that.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Good morning, Honor. My name is Zerlani Cardell.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Erlane Cardell is
Okay.
Erlane-Cardell.
Thank you, Ms. Cardiel. You're here in 2020 MM 692AW. You're arrested for battery, domestic violence, and misuse of 911 system, and I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I am ordering.
I'm sorry.
Okay, ma'am, I have to advise
sorry.
you.
I'm
No, you're fine. I have to advise you that you should not talk about anything that you want to talk about today, okay? Anything that you say can be used against you.
Okay.
So only talk to your attorney about the case, okay? We don't have any victims present here today. They do name 2 victims in the affidavit, I believe. Or no, maybe this is just 1 victim. So I am going to order today that you have no contact with the alleged victim in the case. There's nobody here to tell me that they want contact with you, so I'm ordering no contact. I'll have you sign the no contact order.
I cannot sign, Honor. I'm sorry.
That-
Is something errors here, and I gonna not have no lawyer.
Sorry?
I don't
This was
have
the previous
lawyers.
victim was
Hold on. I cannot have everybody talking at the same time. Hold on, 1 second. Yes.
the victim was the one that wanted no contact. Remember, was it Mr. Castrofort's case?
Right,
Yes.
but so he was the victim?
He was
Okay.
yes. So he wanted no contact.
Right, correct. So
Okay, it's
Mr.
fine. It's fine for
Okay.
me, Honor. I
Okay,
don't
so
not
I'm
gonna
gonna-
do that, but have something here and name is wrong here too. I need to check that and correct that for me. Is the name here for, first of all, I have 4 names here is wrong. When the arrest affidavit.
Ms. Cardiel,
is
today is not the day for that. You
Anthony
need to talk.
Hayes, okay, Anthony
If you don't-
Hayes is not
if
my
you-
son. I do not know that person.
Okay. I'm ordering that you have no contact with the victim. I'll have you sign
Okay,
the no
it's
contact
okay.
order.
I gonna do that and I obey your order, but I have my kids.
So please sign the no contact order, ma'am.
I have a kids, Honor.
You're not to have
I-
contact with the victim.
I do not gonna contact with the victim at all.
Okay, so sign the no contact
But
order.
here say something about my other children. And I need to talk about that. You say.
I'm not
if
gonna
you
talk
want
about
to
that with
change,
you today.
Just not contact.
All right. Ms. Cardiel, if you're going to continue to talk over me, I'm going to have you removed from the courtroom.
Okay, Honor.
You can talk to your attorney. You can talk to
I
your
do not have
attorney.
money to pay any
Okay.
attorney. I have to represent myself.
I've appointed the public defender to represent you, but you keep talking over me, so you're not
But
hearing what
I
I'm
know
saying.
the rights too. I can represent myself.
Well,
It's
I'm
right or
appointing the
not?
public defender, and at a later date, a judge can
I don't
determine
want a
whether you're
public
competent
defender.
to
I wanna
represent
represent
yourself.
myself,
Okay,
Honor.
please remove her from the courtroom.
Okay, no problem.
We will continue without
I
her due
cannot
to her
sign
behavior. She has been ordered not to have any contact with the victim in the case. She is to maintain a separate residence. If she needs to return back to the residence to get personal belongings, she can do so with law enforcement one time. She's not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. I don't see why she would not qualify for pretrial release. Okay, so I'll set the bond at 500 on count 1, ROR on count 2, and or pretrial release if she is to qualify.
And Your Honor, you said no return. I believe he was moving to someplace else.
I didn't say no return. I
Oh,
said
okay.
maintain separate residences,
Okay.
and if she needs to return back there.
Got it. Sorry, Your Honor.
No, that's fine. Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Kenya Hayes.
Ms. Hayes, you're here in 2020 MM 5911. You were arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. We do have a witness coming in. And sir, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I know you've got a mask on. You can take it off in there if you want. I just need you to be able to speak loudly so that I can hear you.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
you state your name for me and spell your last name?
Tyler, last name Blunt, Blount.
Miss Kenny Swanson, did you want to inquire?
Yes, Mr. Blunt, are you afraid of Miss Hayes?
No, ma'am.
Would you like her to have contact with you while this case is pending?
For the kids, yes, please.
Do you two live together?
We do not.
Okay. And would you like to continue to live apart while this is pending?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Were drugs or alcohol related to this incident?
Not to my knowledge, no, ma'am.
If something happened in the future, would you feel comfortable in calling the police or 911?
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions.
Mr. Matos?
No questions from the defense, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Blunt, and again, you don't live together based on what I'm reading. You do share a child.
We do biologically. There is another child involved. He does live with me, but upon her consent, I mean, I would still want him to still live with me so he can go to school.
So if I order her to have no hostile or violent contact with you, do you believe that she will comply with that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you believe that she won't just come over to your house and invite herself in?
She no longer has a key, so that wouldn't be a issue. The issue is just the kids. I just want the kids to be able to see their mother.
Okay. All right. And so, Ms. Hayes, I'm going to give you a warning here. I'm going to let you have non-hostile, non-violent contact with Mr. Blunt. But you have to abide by non-hostile, non-violent contact. So that means you're not to hit him, punch him, kick him, bite him, scratch him, get in his face, be disrespectful to him, say mean things to him, put anything on social media about him in a negative way, text him or say anything inappropriately to him in text messages, voicemails, phone calls. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're not to have contact with the witness in the case. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, can I ask a question?
Yes.
For the no contact, how would the transferring of kids work? Because
So I've ordered non-hostile, non-violent contact for you.
okay.
Okay? So you that should not be a problem.
Okay.
If she does not comply with that order and she is violent or hostile to you, she is in violation of the court order.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you comfortable with me ordering? Is there a way for you to exchange the children or to have contact regarding the children not at your home?
Yes, ma'am. We can find a way to make it happen.
Okay, so she's not going to have contact with the witness in the case. I believe there was a female at your residence who witnessed.
A little bit, yes, ma'am.
Okay, she is not to have contact with her.
Okay,
Okay, directly or indirectly. Okay.
I got you.
I'm going to order you to continue to maintain a separate residence, Ms. Hayes. You are not to return back to Mr. Blunt's house, so you're going to have to exchange the child or children or whatever with him at another neutral location. Okay.
How do I get my belongings from there?
Does she have belongings at your home?
Yes, ma'am. She has some things in my storage and then also a TV. It's like more than a one trip type of deal type
Okay.
of thing.
So if it's a moving situation, I'll allow her to go back with law enforcement to get some personal belongings, but they're not going to wait there with a moving truck.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you might have to facilitate that in terms of she can't go over to the house, but she can have a moving company go over there and get her things, or family members go and get her things. Okay.
Okay.
But she's not going back to your house. Okay.
I understand.
Do you understand that, Ms. Hayes?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. I am going to place you in pretrial release. Make sure you comply with all of those orders. If you violate them, then you're not in compliance with the court order, and you can be held at no bond, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Good luck. Thank you, sir. Huh? Yeah.
You're on the next on the list, Libby Hyquarius, behavior.
All right. I'm going to find the behavior to be a waiver, appoint the public defender, 2020 MM 5908AO. It's a battery, domestic violence. I find probable cause. And there's to be no contact directly or indirectly with the victim, maintain separate residence, may return one time with law enforcement, no weapons, firearms, or ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will be set at $1,500. I'm not taking any action on the out on release case, or cases, I should say. Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Lance Mitchell.
Mr. Mitchell, you're here in 2020 MM 5923AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery and criminal mischief. And I'll appoint the public defender. Yes, Mr. Matos?
Your Honor, we just, the affidavit does not point to the amount that was actually lost. I'm asking to find for the lesser included offense of just criminal mischief on statute number 806.13, subsection 1, subsection B, subsection 1.
Okay. I could barely understand what you were saying. So you're saying that there was nothing in the affidavit that indicated
The damage of the criminal mischief was over $200.
was over $200.
Yes, Your Honor.
They had no objection to the M2.
I think we can all assume that computers was this the one with the? That's fine. I'll find for the M2, but I think there's a laptop, a computer.
Nothing was broken though.
Be realistic here, but so what was your statute, Mr. Matos?
806.13, subsection 1, subsection B, subsection 1.
Okay, so I'll find probable cause for that. It's the same statute other than subsection 1 at the end, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, there's to be no contact, Mr. Mitchell, with the victim or any witnesses in the case. Do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes.
All right, you're to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get personal belongings. You're not to possess weapons or firearms or any ammunition. I am going to place you in pretrial release. Make sure you comply with the court's order, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Good morning, Deborah Mulcahy.
All right, Ms. Mulcahy, you're here in 2023 or MM 396AA. You were arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find probable cause for that offense, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you. I am going to order no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
You're also to maintain a separate residence. If you need to return back to the residence, if the victim is still living there, you might return one time with law enforcement. No weapons, no firearms, no ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm going to place you on pretrial release. Make sure you comply with the court order as well as pretrial release, okay?
Thank you.
Good luck, ma'am. Good morning. Tell me your name, sir.
Danny Roberts.
Mr. Roberts, you're here in 2020 MM 397AA. You were arrested for domestic violence battery. Did you find probable cause? And I'll appoint the public defender. No contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order. Do you understand everything in the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're also to maintain a separate residence. So if she's living there, you cannot go back there. But if she's not living there, then you may live there. You may go one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. You're not to possess weapons, firearms, ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. And you also qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to place you in that program. Make sure you comply with the court order.
Yes.
Good luck, sir.
Right here.
Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Carmelo Rosado.
Mr. Rosado, you're here in 2020 MM 5909AO. You were arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. I am ordering that you have no contact with the victim. There are multiple victims alleged in the affidavit, but one count. So it's going to be victims or witnesses as alleged in the affidavit. So I'll have you sign the no contact order. That can be changed at a later date in writing, sir, if y'all wish to have contact, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything on the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
You're also to maintain a separate residence. If you need to return back to the residence, you can go one time with law enforcement to get personal belongings. No weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition. And you do qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to place you in that program. Make sure you comply, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Please tell me your name.
Tremaine Snell.
All right, Ms. Snell, you're here in 2020 MM 5914AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery. I do find probable cause for that offense, and I will appoint the public defender. I am ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. I'll have you sign the no contact order, and I know it's your sister. I know you live together, so that can be changed by a judge in writing at a later day, okay?
Okay.
Do you understand everything on the form?
Yes.
Okay, you're to maintain a separate residence, so if you need to go back to the residence and the victim's living there, you'll need to go one time with law enforcement to get your things. No weapons or firearms or any ammunition. You do qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to release you to pretrial. Make sure you comply, okay?
Okay.
Good luck, ma'am. Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Deborah Bess.
Ms. Bess, you're here in 2020 CT 965AW. You were arrested for driving under the influence. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to possess any alcohol or consume any alcohol or any drugs without a valid prescription. Your bond will stay set at $500. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Your Honor, next on the list is Stallworth, Bundit.
Okay, we'll take no action on Stallworth. right.
Good morning.
Good morning. Tell me your name, sir.
Eric Derville.
All right, Mr. Derville, we're going to call your attorney, Miss Belani. Do we know what happened to Domingo Ruiz?
He bonded, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. We'll take no action on that.
Do I have an attorney? I don't think I have an attorney.
Well, we've been contacted by an attorney, so we'll find out because we're calling her right now.
What's his last name?
Huh?
What's his last name?
This is Mr. Derville. She's on. Good morning. This is Judge Wish. Is this Attorney Belani?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Derville doesn't think that he has an attorney, so I don't know if you've been hired by the family.
Yeah.
Yeah, his girlfriend hired me.
Sorry?
His girlfriend hired me yesterday.
Okay. So your girlfriend hired Miss Belani to represent you, Mr.
Thank you.
Derville. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So this is case number 2020 CF 9747AO. It's a grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle. And I do find probable cause. And Ms. Belani, do you file a notice of appearance or are intending to do so?
Yes, we found assistant filing it this morning.
This morning? Okay. So, Mr. Derville, no contact with any victim in the case. I'm going to stay the bond at $1,000. I'm not revoking the release in the other case. Just make sure you don't miss any court dates, okay, on that other case.
Yes, ma'am.
Looks like you have a court date coming up on the 26th, so I don't know if that's in person or probably not, but just make sure you don't miss any court dates, okay?
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Belani, did
And
you
we're
want
retained on that case as well.
Okay. Did you want to place anything else on the record?
No, Your Honor, that's all.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Hello, Your Honor.
State your name.
Mr.
Can
Greenman.
you tell me your name?
Illinois Greenman.
Mr. Greenman? Okay. You're here in 2020 5902AO. You were arrested for petty theft. Did you find probable cause? Miss Kenny Swanson, did you have an offer?
I did not, Your Honor.
No offer? Is that due to the out-of-state criminal history?
I have one moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
I'm doing excellent, sir. Thank you for asking.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Greenman, you have prior history out of state, and so the state may enhance this offense to a felony based on your prior. So I can't do anything with your case today. I am going to appoint the public defender for you. You're not.
That's
prepared
fucking
to do
horseshit.
that.
You do whatever the fuck you want, bitch.
Excuse me?
My name's Mr. Greenman. I'm the federal witness of the United States federal government. I demand some goddamn respect, you whore. Let's get a jail for however long y'all fucking need and figure out what you're
All right,
doing.
he can be removed once y'all get him out.
Now, bitch. Fuck you.
All right then. Okay, so he is not to return back to 938 West Colonial Drive. That's the 7-Eleven. No contact with any victims or witnesses in the case. And I'm going to set his bond at $1,000.
Read it.
We'll give them a minute. You guys take all the time you need. All right, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Antonio Hopkins.
Mr. Hopkins, you're here in 2020 393AA. You were arrested for petty theft as a second-degree felony as a first offense. And there's a second case in 2020 394AA. It's also a petty theft. And I find probable cause for those offenses. I am going to appoint the public defender on both of those cases. And I did see that the out on release case, he was found incompetent to proceed. I did see Dr. Danziger had recently done a report finding him to be competent, but probably not a good day to resolve anything today. And I know that you haven't had a chance, Mr. Matos, to talk to him about anything. So, Mr. Hopkins, I believe the offenses are alleged to have been committed at the same location, so you cannot go back to the Circle K at
Yes, ma'am.
277 East Main Street.
Yes, ma'am.
No contact with any victims or witnesses in the case.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to bond out, sir?
No, I'm not. I don't.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Hopkins, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance today. I'm going to order that you get in touch with the public defender's office within 24 hours of your release from the jail.
Okay.
Okay, and I know that they're representing you on your other case, so make sure you keep in touch with them on that case and you don't miss any court dates or any evaluations, okay?
Can I call?
Can you call them?
Yes. Can I call?
Yes.
I got to know.
Yes, just make sure you get in touch with them about your cases within 24 hours of release, okay?
All right.
All right, good luck, sir.
Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, sir. Tell me your name, please.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Carlos E. LeBron.
All right, Mr. LeBron, you're here in 2020 MM 691 AW. You're arrested for trespass and battery. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. So you're not to return back to the 16433 Davenport Road. You're not to have any contact with any victim or witness. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. No weapons or firearms or ammunition, and you must abide by the trespass warning.
Yes, ma'am.
I am going to stay the bond at 500, or I'm going to set the bond at 100 on count 1, 500 on count 2.
Can I ask you a question, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
At the time right now, I've been out, just got released from Lake County on bond, right? And then I was at home working. I've been working, honest to God. And
I just have to advise you that I don't want you to talk about the facts of the case, okay?
No.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Well, I'm just bringing my point in front of you so you can see where I come from. I've been incarcerated before real bad and everything. My grandfather just bought me out from Lake County and Osceola too as well, man, a week ago. He's by himself, he's sick, he's an elder person, he's 72 years old. He don't have nobody to take care of. I'm his eldest. I'm the one that does everything for him, ma'am. And I work. I have a business that I run right now, as well, in Winter Garden. I've been trying to be a role model to society and be doing good. Last night, what happened yesterday? I came out of my house.
I don't want you to talk about what happened.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you there because you're starting to talk about what happened and what didn't happen.
No, I'm sorry.
I've already reduced part of your bond. I'm not going to reduce it any further, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
You're out on release on multiple cases. And you have a history here, and you have a failure to appear most recently in January of 2019. So I'm going to stay those bonds that I set at 100 and 500, sir. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Have a blessed day.
Good afternoon, sir. Please tell me your name.
John Randall Sanders.
Mr. Sanders, you're here in 2020 MM 689 AW. You're arrested for trespass.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
did find probable cause. Ms. Kenny Swanson, do you have an offer for this case? He also has the out on release case. It looks like it's also a trespass, and they did file on that. I don't know if there's a way to do a global.
I believe I did a global offer. Was it adjudication credit for time served for both? And I don't believe there was a cost investigation in the other one.
Have
No
any notes
cost of
about the cost?
investigation?
Not in the other
Do
one.
we know how much time served he has on the out on release case? Mr. Sanders, did you want to resolve both of your cases today?
There, I've got 2 charges.
Well, you have an out on release case that you got back in April for trespass in a structure. But the state's filed on it, so we could resolve it today. So it would be credit for time served on both.
Okay.
Did you want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll see how much credit for time served you have. Did you I'm sorry? 2 days? So, okay, 2 days. All right, did you read the plea form?
Ma'am?
Did you read the plea form?
Yes,
Mr.
I did.
Sanders?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
did you understand everything on it?
Uh-huh.
Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand all the rights that you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need me to repeat the question?
Yes, do that, please.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
I do.
Oh, okay. All right, I do find a factual basis to accept your plea in both cases based on the affidavits in the court file. I'll adjudicate you guilty on each case, sentence you to 2 days on each case with credit for 2 days time served. Those cases will run concurrent.
Okay.
And you must abide by the trespass warning. So in the other case, the structure is 1107 East Fuller's Cross Road, okay? And
Yes.
in this case that you're here on today, it's the Winter Garden Pavilion at 104 South Lakeview Avenue. Don't go back. You'll probably get arrested, all right?
I will not.
Okay, and I'll order that you pay your court costs by August 14th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentences of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you, sir.
Okay.
Good luck. Okay, have a good day.
All right.
Yes?
Now, how much?
You don't have to go back to court again for anything.
Okay. Now, you said something about time served?
Yeah, you have 2 days credit for time served on each case, so you're being released.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll be getting out today?
You will.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
You have a great day.
You too.
The CT? CT is a criminal traffic. It's a misdemeanor. Hold on. 2570,
All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, sir.
Taiwan Turner, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Turner, you're here in 2020 MM 5910AO. It's a petty theft, and I do find probable cause. I don't think that you'll have an offer. It's a victim-specific case.
No offer, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm going to appoint the public defender, Mr. Turner, for you in your case.
You said petty theft, ma'am?
Yes. Mhm. I'm going to appoint the public defender. You're not to have any contact with any victim or witness. You're not to return back to the Dunkin' Donuts at 7032 South Kirkman Road.
When was I arrested for petty theft?
You were just arrested on the 13th at 13:15 in the morning.
No, ma'am, that wasn't me.
Charge, Your Honor.
Oh, it's an add-on?
Yeah, it's a July
Okay, so
21st.
this is an offense that is alleged to have occurred on July 21st, 2020 at the Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh.
Okay? So I've appointed the public defender for you. I am going to stay the bond at the $250.
This is crazy.
All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Travis Warner.
Mr. Warner, you're here in 2020 MM 5906AO. You're arrested for trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. Do you have an offer, Ms. Kenny Swanson?
Adjudication, credit for time served, no return.
All right, so Mr. Warner, it's adjudication credit for time served. You can't go back to that location that you were trespassed. Do you want to accept the offer?
Yes,
That's that
ma'am.
Citgo. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything on it?
Yes.
And you understand all those rights that you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I find a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days' time served. No return back to that Citgo, 520 South Orange Blossom Trail. Abide by that trespass warning, and I'll impose court costs and order you pay those by August 14th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. You cannot afford an attorney. One will be appointed for you, sir. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day. All right, good. Oh, sorry.
Your Honor, next on the list is Williams Marche, medical.
Okay, medical.
Medical.
Medical, okay. So I'm going to appoint the public defender in 2020 MM 5918 AO, and then she has 2 on-view violations of probation out of Volusia County that I will appoint the public defender on as well. Mr. Montes, did you want to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so she's charged with cannabis in the 5918 case, less than 20 grams, and possession of a prescription drug without a prescription.
There's no different RORs to count 1.
And so there's probable cause, and so no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, ROR on count 1. I'll stay the bond at the 100 on count 2. For purposes of the violations of probation, at this time, the bonds, there's probable cause. The bonds will stay set at none at this time. Judge Carter will reach out to the judge in Volusia County with regards to a violation of probation bond. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, sir.
James Edward Miller Jr.
Mr. Miller? Okay. All right, Mr. Miller, you're here in 2020 MM 4051AO, and this is a failure to appear for a trespass arraignment on June 18, 2020. The judge did set your bond at $1,000. Did you want to, Ms. Kenny Swanson, did you have an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, credit for time served. No return, cost of investigation of $56.88 to the Orlando Police Department.
Okay, so Mr. Miller, did you want to resolve your case today?
Yes.
Did you hear what the state had said their offer was?
Yes, I think I did.
Okay. Do we know how much credit for time served Mr. Miller has?
I think it's 2 days, there was a notice to appear.
Okay, 2 days? Okay. Okay. All right, so Mr. Miller, it's credit for time served, and, no return back to where the offense, where you're trespassed from, and then there's cost of investigation to the Orlando Police Department in the amount of $56.88, and I give you a year to pay that and your court costs off.
Okay, can I say something? I work in that plaza, and the guy, he was just mad at me, and, in other words, I would have to I don't know how to do work, I worked there in the plaza that the guy had trespassed me from, and it was all because I wouldn't talk to this guy, who just started working there, and he's part of the staff there. But I've been working in that plaza.
Mr. Miller, I can't change the trespass warning that you were given. That's something that you're going to have to address somewhere else.
Okay.
Now, I can't, that you've been trespassed, so you'll have to work that out.
Okay.
Maybe now that some time has gone by, that might change, but I wouldn't go back there until you know whether you can go back there, all right?
Thank you.
Okay, so Did you read the plea form?
Yes, I did.
Okay, did you understand everything on it?
Yes, ma'am.
Understand the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
You understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I find a factual basis based on the notice to appear in the court file to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days time served. And again, no, you can't go back to that location where you were trespassed from. It looks like that's 5700 North Orange Blossom Trail.
Yes.
Okay. And there's a cost of investigation to the Orlando Police Department in the amount of $56.88. And I'll order that you pay your court costs and any fines and fees by August 14th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, Mr. Miller. Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
James Allen Hoover.
Mr. Hoover, you're here in 2020 MO 835. It's an open container violation. And I do find probable cause. Did you have an offer, Miss Kenny Swanson?
Adjudication credit for time served.
Do we know, has the other case been filed on?
On
The trespass?
the 8/12/2020, it was filed on, Your Honor.
5025. So, yeah, this was filed on 2 days ago. Is a status hearing on the 24th? Not sure if you wanted to make an offer today to resolve it. I don't know.
Okay, this is 20 MM 5025.
Correct.
Adjudication, credit for time served, no return. Cost of investigation of $82.68 to
My guess is OPD.
OPD.
Okay. All right. And so, Mr. Hoover, you have this case that you're here on, and then you have another case that you're out on release on, that you have a status hearing coming up in September. But if you wanted to resolve both of the cases today, it would be credit for time served on both. And then there is the cost of investigation on the trespass for $82.68. Did you want to resolve both?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything on it?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation.
You said U.S. citizen, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And I do find a factual basis to accept your plea on both cases. And does he have 2 days on the other case, do we know?
2 days. Yes.
2 days? Okay. And I'm going to adjudicate you guilty on both cases, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days time served. Those counts and cases will run concurrent. On the 2020 MM 5025 AO, you cannot return back to the liquor and tobacco store or sidewalk. And that's at the vicinity of 700 West 4th Street. So that's the liquor and tobacco store, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll order also that you pay a cost of investigation to the Orlando Police Department and for the amount of $82.68. I'll order that you pay your court costs and fees on both cases by August 14th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentences of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Celia Tell.
All right, Ms. Tell, you're here in 2020 MO 836. It's an open container violation. I do find probable cause. Is there an offer?
Adjudication, credit for time served.
Okay. Ms. Tell, it's a credit for time served offer. Do you want to accept it?
I don't know what that means.
It means that you would get out today. I'd give you a year to pay any court costs.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything on the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand all those rights that you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
Okay, you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
I'm a citizen.
Okay, I find a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit in the court file. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days' time served. Order you pay your court costs by August 14th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you, ma'am. Good luck.
So when do I go home tomorrow?
You'll go home today.
Okay, then
I don't think anything else is holding her, right?
Then they're gonna give me the court fine.
I'm sorry?
They're gonna give me the court fine.
You'll get the paperwork, okay?
Okay.
Okay, good luck, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Tell me your name.
Andre Lazar Williams.
Mr. Williams, you're here in 2020 MO 837. It's an open container. I find probable cause. Was there an offer?
Adjudication, credit for time served.
All right. And Mr. Williams, did you want to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand everything on it?
Yes, ma'am.
And all the rights that you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, find a factual basis. I'll accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days' time served. Order you pay your court costs by August 14th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Denise Airy.
Do we know what happened to Diamond Bright?
Diamond Drive. What'd you say?
Dexter, do we know what happened to Diamond Bright?
I don't have that person.
I had the VOP felony warrants, or are we out of order?
No, I have her.
Oh, Bill. Okay. Because she's a felony.
Okay.
Judge, we
I'm just going by what I have here, so I can move it around. That's fine.
What's her name?
It's the first felony, Harry.
Okay.
And you're Denise Airy?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Miss Airy, you're here in 2020 CF 9766 AO. You're arrested for possession of cocaine. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Where are you living right now?
2211 Diamond Drive.
Okay. And you know that you have to show up to court if you get a court date?
Yes, I will.
Okay. So I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, Ms. Airy. I'm going to order that you get in touch with the public defender's office within 24 hours of your release, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Your Honor, the next person, Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, we're calling Mr. Lauder.
Are we calling him?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just been getting emails from him, so I didn't know if he had.
What did he say?
The last email I got, well, he also said he couldn't attend, but it's a $1,000 bond, I guess maybe the add-on bond on this 2019 CT 6598 case.
I can't hear.
On the 2019 CT 6598, I guess it's an add-on bond for Mr. Anderson.
Uh-huh.
He spoke to the original attorney and they had agreed on a $1,000 bond.
I can't revoke because of the date anyway. So.
Oh, is that, I'm just getting that this is what Mr.
Yeah, we're going to call him.
Okay.
I mean, even if I wanted to revoke, which I wasn't inclined to revoke anyway, but the date of the offense on the warrant is
I would not have
September
had.
10th, 2019.
Okay.
So
I would have any objection. I just was getting a bunch of emails from Mr. Lauder.
actually, I could revoke, but I'm not going to. Yeah. So let's call Mr. Lauder. This is the phone number. I could revoke, but I'm not intending to do that. And he's on pretrial release page. Mr. Anderson. I'm just showing, it's checked off as pretrial release on the out on bond form, but then it doesn't say it on the face sheet. Oh. Mr. Lauder, this is Judge Wish. How are you doing?
Hey, Judge Wish, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am fantastic, enjoying being in my office while in court, so that's nice.
Okay, and so I have your client by video with in courtroom 2. So, sir, can you tell me your name?
Jason Anderson.
Okay, and Mr. Anderson, your attorney's on the phone with me. You're here in 2020 CF 9149 AO. It's a warrant. Probable cause was previously found for a false or fraudulent insurance claim, grand theft, and false report to law enforcement. Mr. Lauder, are you filing a notice of appearance, or have you already done that?
I have not, Your Honor. I didn't know the case number until today because the warrant was concealed.
Okay.
I will be filing a notice of appearance today.
Okay.
Right now, the warrant is a release on recognizance, I believe. The problem is we're stuck on the underlying charge, the DUI.
Right. Yes,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
I reached out to the prosecutor in the trial court in Judge McGinnis's courtroom. He did not object to a bond. I forwarded that information to the prosecutor that's in there with you right now, but I haven't gotten any communication. We just miss each other back and forth, so I'm not sure whether they've got another position or not.
As I said, current state, this is Kathy Kennedy Swanson, has no objection to no action on the out-on-bond case.
Yeah, Mr. Lauder, I was not going to take any action at all on it.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
So,
Yes, sure.
so he will be released, and the hold will be lifted because I'm not going to take any action on it. Looks like there's a court date coming up anyway, so
Yes.
in September. All right, Mr. Anderson, you're not to have any contact with any victim. It looks like this is not really. It's a
Fraud.
yeah. So if there are any victims, you're not to have any contact with them. It's an insurance claim, so I'm not really too concerned about any specific victim. Were there any other conditions that the state wanted me to impose, or? Okay. So he'll be released today. It was just the hold that needed to be addressed, Mr. Lauder. Okay, and I'm not doing anything with that.
Yes, Your Honor. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right. You have a great weekend.
You too.
All right, and Mr. Anderson, you'll be released. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck. Yeah, he was ROR'd, but on the warrant, but the hold kept him in. So we have to address the IA. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Jaquez Ball.
All right, Mr. Ball, you're here in 2020 CF 9744AO. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for aggravated stalking after court prohibiting, so it's just aggravated stalking, and a violation of a condition of pretrial release. And I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you in the case. And I am ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. Believe and no return back to the victim's residence. No weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition. Your bond on count 1 is $7,500. Count 2 is $500. I am revoking the release. In 2020 CF 9337AO. Does he have the public defender in that case? It says TBN on the form, so I'm not sure. No? Okay. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you on that case. You'll have to contact them for them to file a bond motion for you, Mr. Ball, okay? All right, sir. Thank you.
Can I contact her now?
Good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Samantha Latoya Buford.
All right, Ms. Buford, you're here in 2020 CF 1961AO. It's a failure to appear, and that was for a status hearing on August 10th, 2020. The judge did revoke the release and set the bond at $1,000 and $100. So that will remain the same. I'm not going to take any action on the out on release case. I think that was what was holding you if you were able to bond out. So if you're able to bond out, you should be able to bond out now, okay?
It was, excuse me, it was the reason why, because I don't know how to do it virtually, and it was the mailing process that went in wrong. That's why I missed court.
Okay, well, you do have a bond. If you want to fight that, then you're going to have your attorneys file a motion on the case. Does she have the public defender on that case, do you know? Okay, so you're going to have to contact the public defender if you can't afford to post the bond, okay?
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
All right. Good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Hollis Bostic.
Mr. Bostic? Okay. You're here in 2020 CF 9745. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for 4 counts of sexual battery on a child under the age of 12 and 4 counts of lewd or lascivious molestation on a child under the age of 12. And I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you in the case. As it relates to bond, Ms. Kennedy Swanson, did you wish to be heard? Counts 1 through 4 are capital offenses, and counts 5 through 8 are life felonies.
We believe the defendant should be held at no bond based on proof, evidence, presumption, grade, looking at the 4 corners of the warrant. Also, Your Honor, we would ask for him to have no contact with the victim and no contact with the other child. No contact with any family members that are in, I believe the victim is with one of the family members. So no contact with that person, that adult either. Obviously no weapons, no firearms, and to stress to the defendant, that means no contact even from custody.
Okay, Mr. Montos?
Your Honor, we'd like to reserve the whole hearing for downtown.
All right. Well, based on my review of the affidavit, I don't find proof evident presumption great. So before I get to any bond, I am going to require that he sign a no contact order. Do we have one over there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I don't know if you were able to review the no contact order, Mr. Bostic, but I'm going to have you read that and sign it for me. And it's to be no contact directly or indirectly with the victim, any other children involved in or named in the affidavit, or any family members of the victim. So there's the no contact order. I need to make sure that you understand it, okay?
And Your Honor, may we approach for a moment?
Sorry?
May we approach?
Yes.
Do you need me to?
Yeah. I did receive an email from the officer with supplemental information.
Okay. I only have the affidavit.
Thank you. Your Honor, we would ask that this
Is it sworn to?
yes, this is the victim's actual first statement. I mean, you know, I mean, would you read a copy of my laptop? Let me give it to the court.
Okay, so let me take a look and read the additional information, sworn statements provided by the victim in the case.
You know, you saw it.
No. I'm gonna get back on the court.
And just so it's clear, I can read up until the third page, the first paragraph. I can't read what is on that third page. There's a space and then there's a lot of writing.
Yeah,
and
I don't, it's the same way on mine.
I don't know what it says. Okay.
I think it may have bled through another copy, a carbon copy or something.
So I've reviewed the additional supplemental sworn statement, and it's summary of what is in the warrant itself and no additional information. So I don't find the proof evident presumption great based on my review of the warrant as well as the victim's statement. Certainly the state could file any motions to for pretrial detention at any point, but I don't find the proof evident presumption great. So Mr. Bostic, did you read the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand everything in it?
Yes.
Okay, and that relates to the victim, any child named in the affidavit, and any of the victim's family members. And so do you understand all of that?
Yes.
Okay. You're also to maintain a separate residence, no weapons or firearms or any ammunition, and no alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. I'm also going to order that you're not to have any unsupervised contact with any minor child under the age of 18. As it relates to the bond, count 1 will be $100,000. Counts 2, 3, and 4 will be $15,000. Count 5 will be $50,000. And count 6, 7, and 8 will be $5,000. So they're going to give you the public defender's phone number on there. You'll want to reach out to them as soon as possible if you're not able to make the bond so that they can file a bond motion for you, Mr. Bostic, okay?
Okay.
Did you ever understand everything that I explained to you?
Yes.
Okay. Good luck, sir.
Your Honor, just for clarification, that information does have the victim's contact information on it, so we'd ask that that does not be made public. Just her, her name and her.
Okay. Do you want it back?
Yeah, I can have
or
it
did
back.
you want it part of the court?
No, that's fine.
File?
I
Okay. That's fine. Excuse me. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Bob Bracey.
Mr. Bracey, you're here in 2020 CF 9776AO. You're arrested for 2 counts of sale and delivery of cocaine. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. Excuse me. No return back to the Sitco. Looks like that is at the southwest corner of the intersection at North Cimarron Boulevard and Auger Boulevard. So no return back to there, no contact with any witnesses in the case, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay at $15,000 and $150. I'm not taking any action on the out on release case. But Mr. Bracy, I'm going to give you a warning today. You're just here on that other case. You need to make sure that you do not get arrested for anything else. Chances are, if you do and you come back, you probably won't be getting a bond on any, on those cases, okay? Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Jason David.
Mr. David, you're here in 2020 CF 9763AO. You're arrested for possession of heroin with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver. And I do find probable cause for those offenses. I'll appoint the public defender. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm going to stay the bond on count 1 at $15,000. Count 2 will be $150. Count 3, $150. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Brent Levon Gaines, ma'am.
Mr. Gaines, you're here in 2020 CF 9777AO. You were arrested for trafficking in amphetamines over 14 grams with a weapon, possession of a concealed weapon or a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of cocaine, and possession of cannabis with intent to distribute. I do find probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender. Count 1 is a life felony. Ms. Penny Swanson, did you wish to be heard as to bond?
Yeah, we just have for a reasonable bond, no weapons, no drugs.
Did you want to be heard as to bond, or?
Does it no amount? No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Matos?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Gaines, you're not to possess any weapons, any firearms, any ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
Good,
Your
ma'am.
bond on count 1 will be $100,000. Count 2 will be $150. Count 3, $150, and count 4, $150. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
My name is Veronica Hazelwood.
All right, ma'am, Ms. Hazelwood, you are here in 2020 CF 9752AO. It's possession of Xanax, possession of a controlled substance, possession of a prescription drug without a prescription, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, possession of drug paraphernalia, petty theft with a prior theft conviction, and possession of heroin. I do find probable cause, and I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're not to return back to the Walmart. That is at 8101 South John Young Parkway, and no contact with any victims or witnesses in the case.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I am setting your bond. I'm going to stay the bonds at 1,000, 150, 100, 100, 100, 100, and 150. I am revoking the releases in 2020 CF 8708, 2020 CF 3302AO. Does she have the public defender in those cases? Because I don't. Okay, so you do have the public defender. You're going to have to reach out to them to have them file a motion to set bond for you in those cases now.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
You're on the next on the list, Hicks Victor, mental health.
All right, so I'm going to appoint the public defender, 2020 CF 8756AO. Mr. Matos, did you want to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so warrant and Mr. Hicks is charged with a failure to report or check in with 30 days as a transient sexual offender. I did appoint the PD. The bond will stay set at 5,000, and he does have reporting requirements. Good afternoon. Tell me your name, sir.
Roosevelt Holmes Jr.
Mr. Holmes, you are here in 2020 CF 9770AO. It's possession of MDMA. I find probable cause and I'll appoint the public defender. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm going to stay the bond at 1,000. I'm not taking any action on your pretrial diversion or your notice to appear case. But make sure you do not miss any court dates or keep in touch with your attorneys, okay?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Man, I want to be free to Salvation Army. All right.
Can you tell me your name, please?
Christopher Michael Hosteller, born 11/18/1977.
All right, you're here in 2020 CF 9761AO. It's an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I do find probable cause and I'll appoint the public defender. So you're not to have any contact with any victim or witness in the case. You're not to return back to the PRP Whole Body Healing at 206 East Colonial Drive. No weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition. Your bond is set at $7,500.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Where is that at? Where's that at?
I just told you the address, sir. So that is at 206 East Colonial Drive.
When's the next court date?
You guys address Mr. James Hamilton? I think we just did. Just did.
Mr. Longwell, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. I didn't know you were coming, so I hope we didn't call your client already.
You may have. I didn't know I was coming until 11 o'clock today when I was visiting with my client.
Let's see. Is it a,
James Hamilton, it's an out-of-county DOP.
okay, we have not addressed that yet.
Okay, excellent.
Can we, is it possible to grab Mr. Hamilton?
Yep. I don't know if they've been contacted, if they're coming to get him or not, or...
All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, ma'am.
It's Angela Inman.
All right, Ms. Inman, you're here in 2020 CF 9760AO. You're arrested for burglary of a structure, possession of drug paraphernalia, and defrauding an innkeeper, and trespass in an occupied structure as a refusal to leave. And I do find probable cause for those offenses, and I will appoint the public defender. So no contact with any victims or witnesses, no return back to the Quality Inn at 626 Lee Road.
Okay.
No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and abide by the trespass warning. And she would not qualify for pretrial release? Do we know whether she would qualify? It seems as though she was interviewed and it spoke with her mother.
She would just have to report next day because of her transient status.
Okay. So, Ms. Inman, I'm going to place you on pretrial release, and you're going to have to, will they explain that to her when she gets
Yes.
released? Okay,
Yes.
they're going to explain what you need to do. You're probably going to have to report because you don't have an address, but I think they spoke with your mom, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to just make sure you follow their instructions
Okay.
and the court's order, okay?
All right.
So I'm going to place you on pretrial release.
All right.
All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
James Hamilton.
Oh, okay. Let me grab Mr. Hamilton.
Thank you for calling him up, Your Honor.
No, it's fine.
Mr. Hamilton, it's Mark Longwell. I'm here in the courtroom.
Okay.
If you can hear me.
All right, and Mr. Hamilton, Mr. Longwell, and are you filing a notice of appearance, or have you, or?
I
Intend to?
am. I haven't yet, but I will be
Okay.
today.
Okay, so you have an attorney here representing you, Mr. Hamilton. His name's Mr. Longwell, and you're here on an out-of-county warrant. Looks like out of Seminole County.
Correct. No warrant has actually been filed. It's one of those he turned himself in here in Orange County on an information warrant that was filed. And when he turned himself in and posted bond, apparently they held him for a on view like type
It's a VOP.
VOP, even though the dates are very close. I'm not sure if they
Well,
overlap.
I don't know. All I have is the teletype, and it shows that it's a VOP
Correct.
warrant. So my guess is that it might have been an on-view VOP, and at this point they have filed the warrant.
Possibly. I'm
now-
doubtful about that, but I think they just call it that. But
Well, no, they have to because I wouldn't have the warrant.
okay. Oh, you have the warrant. You're
Well,
looking at a warrant.
it's a warrant. It's not an on-view.
I see. Okay.
Yes. So it says it's an Ada County warrant.
Okay.
Okay, so they have filed it.
Okay.
Is that? That is correct. Okay. So
And-
they did file the VOP warrant. What we're doing here
Mhm.
now is normally we would appoint the public defender for these people because they're not transporting. And then Judge Carter would reach out to the judge in the other county. So in this case, it would be, I think, Judge Alva.
Yes, correct. That was the
So-
sentencing judge.
So Judge Carter will reach out to Judge Alva anyway, regardless of what you do, to see if she would give a bond. If not, you can file a motion either there or with Judge Marquez here,
Mm-hmm.
and she would have a bond hearing.
Okay.
Okay? So that's the procedure based on the Florida Supreme Court order.
I do understand that procedure. I really just came to see if they had indicated yet whether they were going to come and pick them up or what was going to happen.
So as of right now, I think it's Brevard County is the only one that did not sign on to the sheriff's transportation issue. And so they are attempting, I think, to drop and pick up people. But I don't believe that Seminole is doing that, Paige. I don't know.
No, they indicated that they are not.
They are not.
They're not.
So that way, Judge, you can always email Judge Carter and copy
Sure.
anybody else as well. And but she will reach out to Judge Alva to
Okay.
see about a bond. And if not, you can always file a motion here or with Judge Alva, and if she agrees to give a bond. But I can't change that bond today.
I get it. I understand.
All right, Mr.
I
Lona.
totally understand what to do. Thank you.
Okay. And so, Mr. Hamilton, it sounds like your attorney is on it. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Yes.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Deontay Jackson.
All right, Mr. Jackson, you are here in 2020 CF 9773AO. You're arrested for possession of a firearm by a convicted delinquent. I do find probable cause for that offense. I'll appoint the public defender. So no contact with any witnesses in the case, no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And I'm going to set the bond at $5,000.
Your Honor. They request that the out-on bond be revoked, especially the 2020 CF 9472. Looks like he was just arrested on a similar type case. I did hear from the downtown attorney, Mr. Garcia, on that case. Looks like, I think he came to IA's last week, 8-6. And so we're requesting the bond be revoked.
And I am revoking the bonds.
Miss,
in
that's the reason why I want to
CF
speak with you.
8866AO, 2020 CF 9472AO, 2020 CT 2838AO. I'll appoint the public defender in any case for which he does not have the public defender yet.
I have to wait.
Mr. Jackson, you're going to have to contact the public defender and have them file a motion to set bond for you on those cases.
It's a question that I had.
Okay, I have to advise you that anything that you say can and probably will be used against you. So if you're going to talk about the facts of anything or what you think happened or did not happen, today is not the day to talk about that. Only talk to your attorney about it.
I know
Okay.
it's not.
So whatever you say, you're saying on your own volition at this point.
Yes, ma'am. But I was trying to speak to you about my current situation with my job and my interview that was supposed to be coming up, because like I help my mom and my grandma take care of their bills and stuff, and I make sure my family is protected and stuff. So I was trying to speak with you about free trial release on that. took because I knew they were
Yeah,
gonna
no,
revoke.
you're not gonna qualify for pretrial release because you're out on release on 3 cases.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I've already revoked those cases, the bonds, and you're gonna have to contact the public defender and they'll file a motion with the judges in those cases.
All right.
Okay? Thank you, sir.
You're on the next on the list. Condarus, Stephen, bonded.
Okay, we'll take no action.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Andrew Maselli.
Mr. Maselli, you're here, 2020 CF 9765. It's a possession of cocaine. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I am going to stay the bond at the $1,000. Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, I was hoping.
Yes, sir.
I was hoping I get RR because I never did this before, and come back to court maybe.
Okay, sir, I can't believe that you've never done this before
No.
because you have a significant out-of-state history in 3 states. And you have unable to provide any information to pretrial release. Most of your criminal history is out of state.
Oh,
So I'm gonna stay the bond at the $1,000,
okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, ma'am.
Laura Moore.
All right, Ms. Moore, you're here in 2020 CF 9779AO. You were arrested for possession of cocaine, possession of methamphetamine, trespass on property after warning, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no contact with any victim or witness, no return to the Walgreens at 12650 International Drive.
Yes, ma'am.
Abide by the trespass warning. The bond will stay at 1,000, 150, 100, and 100. She's on pretrial release.
No.
I'm showing, they put on here that she's on pretrial release in 2020 CF 4839. No?
Right here. No.
Is there a, I'm sorry?
Where the date is located, she's not on pretrial release.
Okay. I don't know who's filling these out, but it's, they've been really wrong. They've been really, really wrong lately. I don't know. 4839.
Can I tell her that? I'm not on pretrial release.
There's an affidavit of violation of pretrial release in 2020 CF 4839. And that was filed on July 23rd. There was a pretrial release order. Then there was an order dismissing the warrant. The KPS previously issued in this matter for revoking pretrial release is withdrawn. I think she is on pretrial.
Her case in their system is closed.
The case is not closed.
No, her case in the offender link system that pretrial manages is closed. So she's not being supervised by one of our officers.
Okay. Well, they never revoked the pretrial release because they dismissed that warrant that pretrial release filed. So she technically should be still in pretrial release for that. So somebody might want to take a look at that one. And that was on 2020 CF 4839. So I'm not going to take any action today, Ms. Moore, but I can tell you that if you come back and you have 3 cases, it's probably not going to be a good day.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
So is the bonds it still at what it was at?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Paige, you might want to let somebody know because there was an affidavit of violation of pretrial release. It was signed and then it was dismissed. So it looks like she should still be on pretrial release. Okay. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Kevin Roberts.
All right, Mr. Roberts, you're here in 2020 CF 976780. You're arrested for petty theft as a subsequent or third subsequent offender and possession of a controlled substance. And I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
Okay.
So no contact with any victim or witness in the case, no return to CVS at 65 East Main Street, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay at 1,000 on count 1, and I'll reduce count 2 to 150, I'm sorry. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
My name is Wayne Robinson, honey.
All right, Mr. Robinson, you're here 2020 CF 9762AO. It's petty theft, 2 prior convictions. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. No return to Lowe's, 2800 West Sand Lake Road. No contact with any victim or witness in the case.
Yes, ma'am.
The bond will stay at 1,000. I'm not taking action on 2020 MM 5545AO. That is a notice to appear. However, I am revoking 2020 CF 8322AO as a petty theft, 2 priors, and I'll appoint. Does he have the PD in that case? I don't see anybody here on the form, so I'll appoint the PD if you don't previously have the public defender. And you'll have to contact them to file a motion to set bond for you, sir, in that matter. Okay, so I need to appoint the PD. Thank you. Please tell me your name.
Wendella Deanna Shaw.
All right, Ms. Shaw, you're here in 2020 CF 9755AO. It's possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. No return back to the Florida, the Gas and Go store at 6415 West Colonial Drive. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and abide by the trespass warning.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that if I release you today without posting a bond, that you must show up to any court date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to order also that you get in touch with the public defender within 24 hours of your release from the jail.
Yes, ma'am.
To advise them of how they're to be able to get in touch with you, any mailing address or phone numbers, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Good luck, ma'am. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Elwood Smith.
All All right, Mr. Smith, you're here in 2020 CF 9775AO. It's a petty theft, 2 prior, and a trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. No return back to 8049 East Colonial Drive. That's the Wawa. No contact with victims or witnesses, and abide by the trespass warning. I'll stay the bond at 1,000 and 100, and I will not take any action on the out on release case. You do have a court date coming up next month, and make sure you do not get arrested for anything, Mr. Smith. If you come back and you have another case, it's probably not going to be a good day, all right?
Okay, I have a court date for when, ma'am?
You have a court date coming up for the out on release case. It looks like September 9th, but you want to get in touch with your public defender on that to make sure if you have to appear virtually or in person, okay?
Oh, you talking that's a different charge?
You have a trespass and a petty theft that you were arrested on May 26, 2020.
Okay.
All right? A little confused, but. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
My name is Adam Soderlund, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Sutherland, you're here in 2020 CF 9768AO. You're arrested for fleeing and eluding a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens activated and DUI. I do find probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender in that case. And as well as in 2020 MM 5915AO, that's a resisting an officer without violence. There's probable cause. So no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to set your bond on count 1 at $5,000. Count 2 will be $500. And the bond on the resisting will stay at $500.
So 6,000 total, ma'am?
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me.
You're on the next on the list, Sproul. And Jaleesa, she bonded.
All right, we'll take no action. All right. Tell me your name, please.
Jaquez T.
Mr. Teague, you're here in 2020 CF 9764AO. You were arrested for grand theft, 3rd degree of a motor vehicle. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender in that case, as well as 2020 CT 4982. That's a no valid driver's license. There's probable cause for that as well. So you're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. No contact with any victims or witnesses in the felony. The bond will stay at 1,000, and on the no valid, no driving without a valid driver's license, and that bond will stay at 500. All right, thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Randall Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams, you're here in 2020 CF 9739AO. You're arrested for possession of a concealed weapon or firearm by a convicted felon, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, possession of cocaine, and carrying a concealed weapon. I don't find probable cause for counts 1 or 2. There's nothing in the affidavit indicating that he is a convicted felon. Despite the fact that the face sheet indicates that, there's nothing in the affidavit in the 4 corners. Counts 3 and 4, there is probable cause for the cocaine and the carrying concealed weapon.
Williams Randall.
I'm going to appoint the PD in that case, and then 2020 CF 7431AO, that is a warrant. Probable cause was found already. And I'll appoint the public defender. That's aggravated assault with a firearm. Ms. Kenny Swanson, did you want to be heard as to counts 1 and 2?
I'm sorry, what's the defendant's name, Your Honor?
It's Randall Williams. Oh, so it's an AKA on, the two cases have different names,
Okay.
but they're together.
Okay, so I have the Williams Randall with 4 counts. No PC on counts 1 and 2, PC on counts 3 and 4. No objection, that's fine, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Williams, you're not to possess any weapons, any firearms, any ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm gonna ROR on count 1 and 2 because I don't find probable cause. Count 3 will be 1,000. Count 4 will be 100. And in the aggravated assault with a firearm, you're not to have any contact with any victim or witness, nor are you to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. And that bond will stay at the $5,000. All right, thank you, sir. All right, please tell me your name.
Yes, Richard Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams, you're here in 2020 CF 9772AO. You were arrested for petty theft as a third subsequent offender. I do find probable cause for that offense, and I'll appoint the public defender. You're not to return back to Whole Foods at 1030 North Orlando Avenue. No contact with any victim or witness in the case. The bond will stay at 1,000. I'm also revoking the bond in 2020 CF 8576AO. I don't know if you have the public defender, but I'll appoint them. If you do not, you'll have to contact them to have you file a bond motion for you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck, sir. Good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
My name is Randall Williams.
All right, you're here in 2018 CF 7828AO, and that's a failing to appear for a status hearing. On July 10th, 2020, the judge did revoke the release and set the bond at none. Looks like that's a drug court case. All of these are. And so you've also got 2018 CF 14889AO, and you failed to appear in that case also for a status hearing on July 10th, 2020. And the judge did revoke and set the bonds at none. And does he have the public defender? Okay, so the public defender's office is gonna have to file a motion with Judge Whitehead for you, okay?
So I can't burn out or nothing?
No, I cannot change his capias, okay?
Who is the judge?
Judge Whitehead is the judge in drug court.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right. All right, tell me your name, please.
My name is Diamond Bright.
All right, Ms. Bright, you're here in 2017 CF 4938BO. It's a violation of probation warrant. The judge did set your bond at none. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You will see Judge Whitehead in a couple days for your arraignment. And so call the public defender's office, but you'll see Judge Whitehead in a couple days, okay?
Miss, could I please speak to you for a second? I had sent in the paperwork to resolve my detainer in March because I've been in DOC. They just picked me up from DOC yesterday. I had my probations concurrent with Marion County and Orange County, and they sent me to prison for 1 year and a day. I'm in renal failure, and I have lupus, and I have a 2-year-old at home. My mom died in April, and DCF took him, and I'm really trying to get to my son because the people who got him, they can't take care of him.
Ms. Bright, are you saying that your probation was terminated in this case?
Yes, ma'am. I went to DOC. I just got released yesterday.
Wait, but for this case or for a different case?
I had 2 concurrent probations. Marion County put me on probation. I came to court in Orlando, and they ran it concurrent with Marion County. I caught a petty theft, which violated both of my probations, and they sent me to prison. I did a year and a day. I just got released yesterday. In March, I put in the motion to resolve my detainer because I was trying to get it finished before I got out of prison, because I knew my mom had cancer and she died in April. I've been trying to get to my son.
All right, I'm gonna look and see if this case was resolved and you're not on probation, but.
Well, I was still on probation.
Wait, hold on, Miss Bright. So this is alleged to have violated your probation back on November 8th, 2019. That's when the warrant was signed. And it's based on your, a new law arrest that occurred on October 22nd, 2019 out of Marion County. That was probably what you're talking about, right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just
The dealing in stolen property?
No, ma'am. They dropped it to a petty theft.
Okay, I understand that, but you were originally arrested for dealing in stolen property.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm gonna look and see, but they could still violate you if you haven't been seen by a judge and resolved the violation of probation. My guess is that you went straight to DOC and this case was not resolved.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just asking if I can come to court, if I can just get home and
I
get
get
my
it.
stuff checked out and my son, please. I will
Ms.
not.
Bright, okay, so you're tagged a violent felony offender of special concern based on your prior history. So even if I wanted to give you a bond today, I cannot do that, okay? I'm not legally allowed to give you a bond as a violent felony offender of special concern unless it is purely a financial issue, okay?
Well, I also tested positive for COVID, and I really need to be checked out. I'm very sickly, Your Honor.
Okay, well, then you shouldn't even be in the courtroom if you're positive for COVID.
Well,
so
that
I'm not
was
sure
almost a
if you
month
told
ago.
them.
They cleared
Okay.
me, but I haven't been
Okay.
retested. But
All right. Miss Bright, I cannot change the warrant. You're gonna have to speak with the violation of, you're gonna see Judge Whitehead in a couple days. It looks like you'll see him on 8/20, so that's next week, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'm sorry I can't help you with that, but I can.
Okay, thank you.
All right, please tell me your name.
Melanie K. Chang.
All right, Miss Chang, you're here in 2019 CF 1016AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for violation of probation. The judge did set your bond at $5,000.
Okay.
I'm gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you. And so if you cannot bond out, you will see Judge Whitehead in a couple days for your arraignment. But if you can bond out, then you're able to bond out.
Okay.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Please tell me your name.
Rochelle Lachey McCaskill.
All right, Miss McCaskill, you're here in a couple of cases. You've got 2017 CF 9516AO. That is a violation of probation warrant, and the judge did set your bond at none. I'm going to appoint the public defender in all of your cases for you. 2015 CF 16482AO. That's also a violation of probation, and the bond is set at none. 2020 CT 659E. That is a driving while license suspended. You cannot drive without a valid driver's license. I find probable cause for that offense, and I'll stay the bond at the $500. And then there's a false ID to law enforcement in 2020 MM 5916AO. And there's no conditions on that, and the bond will stay at $500. So on the violations of probation, you'll see Judge Whitehead in a couple days, okay?
Okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Demonte Atkins.
Mr. Atkins, you're here on a Volusia County warrant. You do have bonds set at $5,000 on each of the 5 counts. So if you're able to bond out, you can bond out.
Yes, ma'am.
If I'm going to appoint the public defender regardless for you here, in case you're not able to bond out.
Yes,
And if
ma'am.
you're not able to bond out, there's a judge here that will contact the judge in Volusia County. If not, also the public defender can file any motions to set bond for you here. But you do have bonds, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, good luck, sir. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Hariel Black.
All right, Ms. Black, you're here in it's a Seminole County warrant, and the judge did set your bond at none in Seminole County. Looks like it's a violation of probation. And so I'm going to appoint the public defender here. One of the judges here will contact the judge in Seminole County to see if they will give you a bond. In the meantime, the public defender here can help you with your case. I'm not taking any action on the other cases. I have no idea that those might be what are violating her regardless, okay? Good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
I'm Christopher Davalle.
All right, Mr. Duvall, you're here in an Osceola County case. Looks like a violation of probation and a failure to appear. So,
Can I talk, Your Honor, or no?
well, I can't really do much for you today on these cases. The bonds are set at none. I'm going to appoint the public defender. We're in the same circuit, so this should be easy for them to communicate with Osceola. One of the judges here will also communicate with the judge in Osceola to see if they will give you a bond.
Okay.
But you can also contact the public defender's office. They're going to give you a piece of paper there with their phone number on it.
Can I
But I cannot change the bond on the Osceola cases today.
Okay, that's fine, ma'am. But I can call from the jail phone, the Osceola
Yes.
number?
That's the
Orange
public
County?
defender's office here.
Oh, okay.
It's the same circuit. Osceola and Orange are the same circuit, so they should be easily able to help you out.
Awesome. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, tell me your name, sir.
Alex Heath.
Mr. Heath, you're here on a Lake County warrant, and the judge in Lake County did set your bond at none. Oh, actually, this is an out-of-county violation of probation. I'm sorry. And it's an on-view VOP. And there is probable cause for that offense. And so I'm going to appoint the public defender here to represent you. The bond will be stayed at none at this time. And Lake County will be contacted to see if they're going to be filing any warrant for the violation of probation. But you can speak with the public defender here and they can help you out with your case, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon. Please tell me your name.
Amanda Marsh.
Okay. Miss Marsh, you're here. Do you also go by Bennett?
Yes.
Okay. All right, this is a Hillsborough County warrant, and the judge did set, looks like it's a child support, is this a writ, or?
Yes.
I'm not sure. Okay, so that you have a purge amount of $1,000.
Okay.
I can't appoint the public defender for you because it's not a criminal case. Are you going to be able to bond out?
I don't know.
Okay, so one of the judges here, and I'll let Judge Carter know, she's the judge. I'm gonna let her know that you may not be able to bond out, but she will reach out to the judge in Hillsborough County to see if they will release you.
Okay.
But I don't believe that I can appoint the public defender on the case because it's It's a child support writ, okay? So you may come back on our docket if you have not bonded out in a couple of days, all right?
Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
All right, we have to call Mr. Zwick. Is this Mr. St. Clair?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're gonna call your attorney. Do you need the phone number? Okay. And then, I got an email, but we'll wait till Mr. Zwick gets on the phone. Ooh, it's hot. This is Judge Wish. Is this Attorney Zwick?
It is. Thank you.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. It seems like you had a busy day today.
Yeah, it's a very busy day today, busy Friday. I do have your client, Mr. St. Clair, and he is here for the Osceola County warrant. I did, originally it said at no bond. I did get an email from Judge Carter's JA, who handles the out-of-county. And I believe it is the same case, the 2020 CF 1952. I'm not sure if you had heard from them or not about the bond that Judge Morgan agreed to.
I spoke to the prosecutor because I was speaking to the prosecutor before he was arrested on this warrant, trying to argue about the facts of the case. I've got pretty good information that this case isn't very strong, but the prosecutor from Osceola said that she leaves it up to the discretion of you. She agrees that Orange County has the ability to set a bond on that,
Judge Carter did speak with Judge Morgan, and he is the judge in Osceola, obviously. And he wants to impose a $2,000 bond with pretrial release conditions.
That's fine.
Then you have no contact with the victim, not to return within 1,000 feet of the victim's residence, and not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition.
That's fine. I think that's appropriate. Yeah, he doesn't want to have any contact with that girl either.
Okay.
No problem.
This is a domestic battery case. So, Dexter, can we get a no contact order?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, I'm going to have him sign the no contact order. It's the same order that they use in Osceola as well, same language.
Okay.
I'm going to have him review it because he probably hasn't seen it yet. So, Mr. St. Clair, take a look at that.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything on it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the victim.
Okay.
You're also not to have, you're not to return within 1,000 feet of the victim's residence.
Okay.
And you're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Okay.
Okay? And Judge Morgan has imposed a $2,000 bond with pretrial release, and that is in Osceola County. So, Mr. Zwick, you may want to get with them. He's going to have to report to pretrial release. I don't know if they're doing in-person or phone. We're doing phone reporting here in Orange. I don't know if Osceola is different, so you may want to call them. And
I'll find out.
And find out if he needs to report within 24 hours. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'll give them a call, and I imagine now that this order is in place, he should be, my client should be able to get out of Orange County today, and he can just give me a call when he gets out, and we can figure out how to report the pretrial.
Yeah, all he needs to do is post the bond at this point, and then they will release him, and then I would just make sure he doesn't violate any of those conditions, and he reports to pretrial in whatever way they're requiring.
that's fine. I will do that. And Mr. St. Clair, if you can hear me, I'll be in touch with your people to get that bond posted right away.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, anything,
No problem.
anything else?
No, ma'am.
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
If you could, Mr. Sansler, give me a call as soon as you're out.
Yes, sir. I will.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Zwick. You have a good weekend.
You too.
All right, thanks. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Niels Thames.
All right, Mr. Thims, you're here on a Lake County warrant, and the judge in Lake County did set your bond at none on both counts.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I'm going to appoint the public defender's office here to represent you. One of the judges here will reach out to the judge in Lake County to see if they will give you a bond. If not, or if they do, you'll come back on the docket and we'll let you know what that bond is. If not, the public defender's office here is appointed, so they can help you file any motions and hear any motions here in Orange County, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. Good afternoon, tell me your name, please.
Darren, 3.
Mr. Threes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're here on a Volusia County warrant. You do have a $570 bond. It's a writ. It's a purge amount, so I'm not going to be able to appoint the public defender to represent you. Are you going to be able to post the bond?
I don't know. I mean, what I got to pay the whole.
I can't hear you, sir. You're not speaking clearly.
I got to pay the whole 500.
$570. Okay, but I cannot appoint the public defender because it is a child support writ, I believe. So I'm going to let Judge Carter know if you are not able to post the bond. But she will contact the judge in Volusia County to see if they will release you without posting the purge amount, okay? All right, thank you, sir.